Trump x Elon's disastrous interview. Based on what? Your political view, Lamau. Title Trump x Elon success. Based on what? Your political view. Objectively, not being able to launch. Like, a failure to launch is pretty bad. Dude, Trump supporters are so funny. They like they just don't get it. They literally don't understand it at all. They're just like, what the fuck? Excuse me? Like, that's my goat. Why are other people not in agreement with me that my goat is the goat? Elon says the space got 1 billion. Yeah, dude, I'm gonna be honest with you. That's not how this works at all. Like, they can say whatever the they want. It's like cake, bro. They don't have advertisers, so they can just like straight up lie about their numbers all day. Even though Twitter counts views as like the same as Facebook, where you just like scroll past it and it's like considered a view, I still think it's fake. Like, I still don't believe it. It was a conversation. It was quite enjoyable, I might add. Bro, I'm sorry. I'm a fucking loser, dog. I love politics, but you will not catch me openly saying on the timeline that I quite enjoyed like two fucking politics people having a conversation. My entire job is to try to make that shit entertaining because it's boring as okay? Like, how are people voluntarily being like, yeah, I thought it was quite enjoyable to listen to fucking two billionaire assholes just drone on and on about how fucking Guatemalan migrants are not productive workers and how we have to deregulate industries because that's the only way forward. It's like, they quite literally are just talking about how they are robbing you blind, and you're sitting there with your mouth agape going, oh, this is great. Like, you're fucking so stupid. I'm sorry.
Donald Trump returned to Twitter last night. It's now called X, for a long conversation with Elon Musk that was hampered by technical issues. Rachel Scott is tracking the race. Good morning, Rachel.
Hey, George, good morning to you. This all got off to a very rocky start. That conversation was delayed by more than 40 minutes because of those tech issues. Elon Musk said he wanted to have this conversation so that the former president could appeal to independent voters, but Trump fell into a very familiar pattern of controversial statements, insults, and attacks. Overnight, Donald Trump's botch returned to the platform that once banished him for posting false claims about the election. The company saying at the time the account was permanently suspended due to the risk of further incitement of violence. It was reinstated by Elon Musk in November of 2022.
One of the funniest things that Elon Musk immediately did was call this a distributed denial of service attack, DDoS, as in people were attacking his website. If you are actually victim to a DDoS attack, a couple things happen that did not happen in this situation. Other parts of the website would also shut down. They didn't. The rest of the website, for, you know, for better or for worse, was still working. Elon personally turned around and fucking went along with it. Then Verge and other outlets went and asked people on the engineering side at Twitter, and they were like, yeah, no, that didn't happen. He's likely lying about it. And it's additionally ironic because he had done this already. He did this once. Well, not once, twice, but the second time it didn't matter because it didn't get that much traffic. But like, he already did this with fucking Ron DeSantis, and he bricked it, and then Donald Trump shit on him for it, which is why it's fucking hilarious. He did not look back at it at all and be like, let's fix this so it never happens again. And he just went YOLO mode. Now, part of that is because Elon also eliminated a shit ton of the workforce. Not all the positions that he eliminated were like the queer Marxist brigade that is working on DEI or whatever. A big chunk of the people that he laid off and the only people that he kept on board were the H-1B visa workers that he could just basically fucking threaten with deportation. So they are way less likely to say no when he's like, you have to work overtime. He literally went in and was like, yeah, we're going to work on a skeleton budget, including people that work on, you know, the back end.
Trump returning to the conversation Monday for a conversation with Musk. Technical issues delaying it from the start for more than 40 minutes. Musk blaming a so-called denial of service attack, a kind of cyber attack that floods a server with traffic to force it offline, saying the massive attack illustrates there's a lot of opposition to people just hearing what President Trump has to say, though he provided no evidence of such a cyber attack.
All right, hello everyone. My apologies for the late start.
Users getting messages like this saying details not available. Those who were able to get into the live stream welcomed by hold music, then silence. X saying more than 1 million people eventually signed on.
I'm looking at the numbers. You got a lot of people listening.
Musk said he wanted Trump to reach open-minded independent voters, kicking off the conversation by asking Trump about the attempt on his life.
What was it like for you?
Not pleasant, I have to be honest. I said there was blood. I had more blood.
Bro, what's funny about this is that he didn't just want to talk about the assassination. He wanted to talk about DEI or deep state conspiracies. And Donald Trump was not about it at all. So he just kept egging him on and on and on. He just kept repeating it like, but you know, it's crazy that, you know, they shot you from that distance, right? I mean, it's like, why did they not have anyone there? Why did they not have anyone on that roof? What was going on? Two things were happening there that Elon Musk was not aware of. Number one, Donald Trump wants that to be a perfect shooter because God saved his life. That's what he wants to like present it as. That's what he believes. So he's not going to sit there and be like, yeah, I can't believe like the deep state is after me in this regard. And the other reason, Donald Trump personally loves the Secret Service. He does. He thinks they saved his life because they did. So like, that's the reason why so many people kept talking about DEI, 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 except Donald Trump has not said that at all. So far, he has only said how awesome the Secret Service is. If you notice, he always talks about how great they are, how wonderful they are, how sick they are. He's like one of the only people on the Republican side that hasn't been consistently shitting on the Secret Service. So he just didn't bite that at all.
I didn't know I had that much blood.
Over 2 hours, the former president drifted into bringing up false claims, insults, and controversial statements. Trump praising his relationships with authoritarian leaders, saying he got along well with North Korean leader Kim Jong-un and Russian President Vladimir Putin.
And I got along with Kim Jong-un. We had dinner, we had everything, and he really liked me, and I got along with him.
Trump also describing a conversation he had with Putin about invading Ukraine, claiming he told him not to invade. The former president laying out what he would do if reelected, insisting one of his first acts would be shutting down the Department of Education.
That shit was kind of crazy, bro. He's like, he knew? What the fuck? He's like, yeah, Putin hit me up before invading Ukraine. And I was like, don't do it. I don't get it. It's kind of odd.
This is where I need an Elon Musk. I need somebody that has a lot of strength and courage and smarts. I want to close up Department of Education, move education back to the states, where states like Iowa, where states...
Bro, this is like literally Project 2025, by the way, which is why it's like hilarious that Donald Trump's like, I don't know what Project 2025 is. It's nerd shit. And that's precisely the reason why I told you guys time and time again that there is functionally no difference between like the Republican Party and the Heritage Foundation, because the Heritage Foundation is the think tank that writes the Republican policies, and Project 2025 is not specifically about like the upcoming Trump term, but a long-term commitment to abolishing the Department of Education, the EPA, all of these federal regulatory bodies. This is something that the Republican Party has been actively pushing towards. It's not new. It was Project 2024. It was Project 2023. It's also Project 2025. I know that a lot of people are primed towards Project 2025, and it's like a really great way to focus people's resentment and focus people's frustration towards one thing. It's not new. It has been this has been in the works for a very long time. It's never stopped. And that is precisely the reason why Donald Trump saying, I want to abolish the Department of Education while simultaneously saying Project 2025 who is ridiculous. This part of the conversation started with Trump and Elon praising Sweden, Norway, and even China's education systems. Like, they literally started off by being like, Sweden, Norway, even China, their education is so much better, and then turned around and was like, and that's why we need to abolish the Department of Education and bring it back to the states. It is nutty.
It's like Idaho. You know, not every state will do great.
The Harris campaign highlighting that clip on social media and responding to the interview saying Trump's entire campaign is in service of people like Elon Musk and himself, self-obsessed rich guys who will sell out the middle class and who cannot run a live stream in the year of 2024. The Harris campaign also accusing Trump of slurring his words. The former president brushing off dire warnings about the impact of climate change, saying rising sea levels will lead to, quote, more oceanfront property. And he promised the largest deportation in history, attacking Vice President Kamala Harris on the administration's handling of the border, calling migrants non-productive people. Trump casting Harris.
That was another one that it made me lose my fucking mind. It's one of those things that is just like, you say that shit immediately, I'm like, you are such a fucking freak, dude. Having two billionaire fail sons talking about how the Guatemalan dude trekking for thousands of miles to come to work here for pennies on the dollar is actually unproductive. Like, that is, I don't even know what to say to that. You are so delusional, dude. You are such a fucking delusional piece of shit. Like, what are you talking about, man? I don't even think that reads like, I don't even think most normal Americans who might even be fucking racist themselves agree with that. On the one hand, they say they're unproductive. On the other hand, they say they stole our jobs. It does not have to make sense because it is for the absolute dumbest people. This is not a coherent narrative This is simply for the dumbest, most racist person.
And I say, if you're a Jewish person or if you believe in Israel, if you're a person that, is a very pro-Israel, if you vote for her, it's worse than Biden. And Biden was bad. But if you vote for her, you ought to have your head examined.
Also, at one point, saying the new Time magazine cover of Harris looks like his wife.
I saw a picture of her on Time magazine today. She looks like the most beautiful actress ever to live. It was a drawing. And actually, she looked very much like our great first lady, Melania.
Bro, that shit was crazy. That shit was crazy. I don't know. I don't think people agreed with me on this, but like I said when he was talking about that, he came across as SD more than horny. He's like, she looks so pretty, so beautiful, just like Melania. And it wasn't like I personally think that wasn't like him being horny. That was more so him being zesty. Like she's a pretty woman. Okay, like queen respecting another queen. Yeah.
She didn't look like Camilla. That's right. But of course, she's a beautiful woman. So we'll leave it at that, right?
And in a sign of just how much the former president has struggled to pivot to a new rival, Trump also.
Honestly, it's just a weird thing to say. Oh, dude, 100%. Because not everyone will read it as like, not everyone will read it in a zesty way that I did. Most people will look at it and be like, you're gross as fuck, bro. Why are you saying that about the person you're running against? Camilla.
Also spent time attacking President Biden, even though he's no longer in the race.
Don't forget, I beat Biden.
I wonder if anybody tracked this, but like honestly, Donald Trump spoke significantly more about Biden than he did about Camilla, with the exception of like calling her radical Marxist and then at points saying she was pretty. Like he just kind of daggered Biden the entire time. And it's like, yeah, we agree, man. Yeah, he sucks. Okay. One day I'll be a billionaire and come back to the Twitch chat and show you all. I just need more shifts at my local hotel, man. Yeah. There was a time I actually thought Elon was cool, but what the fuck happened to him? Why is bro power tripping and straight up being an Islamophobe? Elon was never cool, man. He was always a fucking rich asshole, okay? He was never cool. You got duped. It's fine. It happens all the time. Let me tell you what happened. The media basically told you he was cool as fuck. They told you. They gave him incredible articles. They wrote articles about him. A lot of people got duped, and that's fine. It's like impossible. It's virtually impossible not to feel some type of way about billions of dollars of free and paid media. You know what I mean? Like, it makes sense. That's the reason why it exists. That's the reason why PR exists. That's the reason why marketing exists, right? A lot of people personally that they're above it, that they think, nah, like propaganda can't impact me. No way, dude. I'm too smart for that. And it's like, it's usually the people that say that are not too smart for it. Whenever I personally see like a shit ton of paid and earned media about someone that, in my opinion, doesn't deserve it, and it's my own rule of thumb, obviously, so it doesn't really matter. You don't have to do this either, but like you can maybe make up your own mind about these people. I just kind of am a little bit more skeptical. And Elon was one of those guys. Elon was always one of those guys. As a person who was previously duped by Elon, he definitely was better at reading the room when I was younger. A gajillionaire posting 9-gag memes was funny enough. Along with the Iron Man PR, he just aged like milk and bought into his own image a little too much. No, I always thought that shit was lame as hell. Oh my God, he's a billionaire but posting 9-gag memes. Like, the reason why I love LeBron is because he's corny as okay? LeBron doesn't post images of Bart because he thinks it looks sick. He posts it because he's fucking corny. He's a cornball. He also happens to be the GOAT. Elon Musk, on the other hand, has this air of like, please like me about him. You know what I mean? Things that I think is like one of the major reasons why I've never been too much of a fan of this guy. Like, I'm posting the epic meme. What do you think of Mark Cuban? Okay, great example. Great example. I think Mark Cuban is infinitely better at like appearing normal as a fucking billionaire than Elon Musk. He does. He, like, I wouldn't go so far as to say he's one of the good ones or anything, but it's like very obvious that he is, to a certain degree, a normal person, as normal as you can be while still being richer than God. It's obvious that he will sometimes like even dialogue with like normal people. He'll put his opinions out there. He's not like programming every single thing that he is saying and calculating it to gain something. Sometimes he just posts. It's like KD. KD's a poster through and through. He doesn't play basketball for the sake of basketball. He plays basketball so he can post shit. Okay. He can talk shit on Twitter. JB Pritzker is another good example of a person you can kind of tell is not like personally invested in the way that like every single thing he's saying is going to look like. I think overall, Elon Musk just always is so inauthentic and so desperate for attention, so desperate for people to like him. And the way I see it is like this. Okay. I'll give you another example. Andrew Tate. Andrew Tate is beaming with insecurity. That is precisely the reason why That is precisely the reason why Andrew Tate presents himself as this like over the top masculine alpha dog, right? You don't do that if you are secure in your sexuality, if you're secure in your background, secure in your success. Trying to market yourself as a certain person by going overboard all the time is in my opinion, trying to make up for an insecurity that you have. It's very performative. Unfortunately, that kind of bottom of the barrel marketing is really appealing to a lot of people who are stupid and maybe also insecure as well. They don't see it as overcompensation for insecurity. They actually see it as what it is. They just respond to shapes and colors. So they look at that and they go, no, you don't understand. He's got a Bugatti. He's got so many cars. He's so sick. He's so awesome. They don't like take a deep breath and go, why does any of this shit matter? Who gives a fuck? When you die and go into the ground, they don't bury that stuff with you like a pharaoh. You know what I mean? What matters is your impact on this planet. But a lot of people don't think about it like that. And they just go, it's so sick. He's so cool. They don't think about it beyond like the immediate image that they're responding to. Unfortunately, there's a lot of guys like that out there. And that's why there's a lot of people who like respond positively to Elon Musk posting like the fucking 9gag meme from 2014. That's what it is. There's a lot of other people out there who don't understand the thin-skinned narcissism that comes out of like that oozes out of every orifice of this person.